Hello friends. Now let us take up the training session 5. In this first concept, reading data from keyboard using scanner class object. In fact, reading data is very easy process in C language, C++, and Python languages. Very simple. In C, use scanf statement. In C++, cin, and Python input statement. Very easily you can write with one line you can write. But as far as Java is concerned, it's a little complicated. That's why you have to specially focus on this. Thereafter, one or two anything, no complication. Only thing is, if you want to learn everything theoretically, everything is complicated. Whatever concept you learn immediately, then and there, if you apply in a test program, nothing is great. Everything will become routine. That point you have to understand. Here, actually, what are the procedure, what are the requirements to input data? I explain, and thereafter I give you 3 programs. You work out all the program, then you will be very familiar with this procedure. And one more point I have to tell you, this is the fifth one. Fifth type of inputting data. Once again, let us list out. The first one is using set data method. We read data, we initialize data for the instance variable. Second one is using constructor, user defined constructor. We can initialize instance variables. Third one is directly uh, initializing instance variables using their names, instance variables via object. That is third one. Fourth one is using command line arguments. Fifth one is reading data from keyboard. But for reading data for keyboard, certain prerequisites are there. All that you have to thoroughly understand and apply. Now you see, first we have to import scanner class. Using scanner class object only we can write. For that purpose, what you have to do, above the top of the program or above the blueprint of the program, what you have to write? Java util dot scanner. This you have to write. Java represent entire standard library. A big library, standard library is there. In that, util is a package. Okay, if you take your college library, entire library is represented by this. Util is like, let us say computer science almara. So in this scanner class, a particular author's book is like that. So first we have to import this. For importing, import statement you have to write, and java.util.scanner, the lowercase, and scanner, as it is a class, first letter is capitalized. That you have to write. Thereafter, you have to instantiate a scanner class object. For that purpose, instantiation syntax, you know that, scanner, you name it as SC, and new scanner. Here, one interesting thing is there. That is that system in. Actually, regarding this, I have to explain to you. Through input stream only, you can read. That's why for the scanner class constructor, you have to go system in. System in represent input stream. That you have to give, and then only you can do that. Okay. Thereafter, you want to read strings. If you want to read string and all that, via this object only, sc dot next line. Next line method is used for reading string. Suppose you are reading name of a person, then sc dot next line you have to write. Suppose you are reading the person's age, sc dot next int, because you are going to read integer value. Suppose you want to read his height, obviously it is float. Next float. This is the way. These things you have to learn. First you have to import, thereafter sc object you have to create, that is scanner class object you have to create. You should not forget this. Thereafter, whatever data you want, like if you know C, Python and all that, one prompt statement you write. Below that you can write, suppose for this, enter the name of the student, then you write this. Enter the age of the student, you write this statement. Enter the height of the student, then you enter. Like this, these statements you have to write. Then, like in other languages like C, C++, Python, you can read data. But normally, reading data from keyboard is used rarely, not very frequently, and for everything that constructors are used. That point you have to command line arguments also very rarely used, and this also reading data from keyboard also rarely it is used, but using constructors the data is initialized. This point you have to understand. However, by this explanation you may have little abstraction, but don't worry. Here after 3 programs I am giving to you on this only. You work out all the programs. Totally 15 programs I am giving in this feel good web series. Just to work out around 20 concepts and 15 programs I have given, and by performing this just 5 days, daily one training session you perform, even though you can perform it 2-3 days only, no hurry, daily slow and steady. Slow and steady is the best principle for learning and mastering programming. No hurry, don't be lazy nor over smart. Always be smart and complete this. After completion of this OFG, then you feel differently. According to me, you love programming, and you enrich your self-confidence that you can tackle any programming situation, and within months you master not only one programming language, and whatever number of programming languages you learn, every 3 months or 2 months you can master one language. But first language is very, very important. And one more thing, OCAJP certification. Already explained about its importance and all that. Once you secure that, you will be different. You will be one among thousands of your competing peers. That point always you remember and proceed.